starting the recording also on my Zoom here. I think Varshana Mataji is going to join us on the Zoom today. So without much ado, we get going on our Mangalacharan prayer. Om Ajnanatimarandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padukamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lajita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bol. Okay, so welcome dear devotees to our class on Bhagavad Gita, and we will get started, and let's see who else is there on the call with us. So we had Garima Mataji and Sutapa in the beginning, and now we have been joined by Sonal Mataji, Garima Mataji, Priyanka Mataji, and Chitra Mataji, and we are also being watched on YouTube, on Facebook actually, by Dilip Bhai Patel, and Vidyavadhu Mataji is also going to join us over there. So we will just
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Let's go there. Let's find the verse. Does anybody remember what's the verse for the day?
637 Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
6.38. Good, for 20 points. Yes. 6.28. And welcome Varshana Mataji on Zoom. Okay, so let's go to 6.38 and let me post the link for 6.38 for you all. And if you can confirm that you can see that, then we will get going over there. Okay, so, okay, here we go. So, all right, so let's get going there. So we have been talking about Dhyan Yoga in chapter 6, and Krishna has explained all the detailed process steps on how you can go ahead with Dhyana Yoga, starting from the stage of not knowing anything to a stage where you reach the perfection of yoga. And this is, by the way, Ashtanga Yoga. And then for the last 1 month, we have been hearing Arjuna tell Krishna that how difficult it is to do the yoga. And Krishna acknowledges that. And he says, yeah, you'll have to, but you'll have to do some practice. And with practice, you'll be able to, and with practice and detachment, those are the two things that he tells us, that if you do these two things, then you will be able to go further in yoga. And actually practice and detachment, these two things apply not only to yoga as in Dhyan Yoga, where you are meditating, but it applies to any of the yogas, whether it is Gyan Yoga, whether it is Bhakti Yoga, whether it is Hatha Yoga, whatever yoga that you're doing, you need to have these two. You should be practicing and you should be detached from the material, like that. So then Arjuna has another doubt. He says that, what if somebody is not successful? And he said that last week, that what if somebody is not successful? And he's continuing that in today's verse, which is verse 6.38. And can I get a confirmation that you can see that verse? Somebody can tell me? And I wanted to, okay, so here, I think we lost the connection there on with FreeConscom call HT. Let me just go and start the call. Thank you, Sutapa, for letting me know about that. So just bear with me for a minute here.
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com.
Okay.
There are 8 participants in the conference. The recording has started.
Okay, good. So I see Vidyavadhu has also joined, and Anirudh Prabhu and Preeti Radhika Matajis have also joined us. Yeah, I think the call dropped and I didn't see that. So maybe I should put my phone right next to this so that I know what's happening and what's going on there. Okay, so let's get going. So I was talking about this verse where Arjuna will continue to voice his concerns about, it's very difficult to do this yoga. So, and what if I'm not successful, or what if a person is not successful? So he's actually asking this question on our behalf. So 6.38, and are you able to hear me? Those who are joining me on the voice conference, free conference call, can somebody say something so that I know?
Now we get
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So then the verse for today is Kachin no bhaya vibhrastas chinna bhram iva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimuro brahmanapati kaschinno bhaya vibhrastas chin abhram iva nashyati pratishto mahabaho vimuro brahmanapati. Synonyms: kachit, whether; na, not; ubhaya, both; vibhrashtaha, deviated from; chinna, torn; abhram, cloud; eva, like; nashyati, perishes; apratishtatha, without any position; mahabaho, O mighty armed Krishna; vimuraha, bewildered; brahmana, of transcendence; pathi, on the path. So once again, today's verse is Kachinno bhaya vibhrastas chinnabhram iva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimuro brahmanapati. So we got some synonyms that we laid out here and wanted to check with you here that he's talking about something. Okay, let's read the translation and come back to the synonyms later. So translation says, O mighty armed Krishna. This is Arjuna speaking to Krishna. O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere? So that's a very, very valid concern that Arjuna has. And he's asking, like, what if I'm not, what happens? What if I deviate? Like that. So he's using the term riven cloud, a riven cloud with no position in any sphere. So riven cloud, no position in any sphere. And of course, he is bewildered. He's bewildered. And he is bewildered from whatever path that he was following. He gets bewildered from there. Okay. So I'm just muting some noisy lines from where I'm getting some noise. So whenever you have to speak, please remember to unmute yourself. Then, so he's bewildered, and because of the bewilderment, he's going to step away from the path of transcendence on which the devotee is walking, right? And perishes like that. So,
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com. There are 9 participants in the conference.
Yeah, sorry about that. Somebody calls, then my internet connection drops for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to ask you for some synonyms that you have come across today. And so, what is the Sanskrit for a cloud?
Abhram.
Abhram. Okay, very good, very good. And what would you call a person who is bewildered? Vimura. Vimura. All right, very good. And if somebody has got very powerful arms, what you will call him? Mahabaho. Very good. And then if somebody is deviated from the path, what do you call them? Vibhrashta. Right? So Vibhrashta. Vimura. Vibhrashta Vimura. Because of bewilderment, he is deviated from his path. And if you tear something, what is that called? Okay. And if you are in a noisy environment, I request you to yourself. Okay. So yeah, chinna. So torn is chinna. And then if somebody doesn't have a position, I'm neither here, I'm neither there. What do you call that? Apratishtaha, right? Pratishtha is to establish something, right? So pratishta, where do you come to hear about words like pratishta in life? Do you hear words like pratishta?
Yes, mother.
And tell me, where do you hear, Rashana?
Yeah. Like you said, if somebody has, like Srila Prabhupada has done so much, so we all appreciate him. That is pratishtha for him.
Okay, so you have given him some position, right? Okay, good. And then here he's talking about a more gross kind of a pratishtha, right? What you are talking about is a subtle pratishtha, right? Like a position in society, it's subtle. But what about, give me some gross examples, of pratishtha. What does pratishtha mean from this one, from this verse, from the synonyms that you're reading?
Has no position.
Has no position, right? So I'm asking about gross, right? I'm asking about the gross aspect of it. For example, your dining table in your dining room, where is your dining table positioned? It's positioned in the middle of the room, or the dining table is positioned to one end of the room, attached to the, very close, juxtaposed with the wall, like that, right? So that's a gross position. So, but you normally don't use the word in your colloquial, like in our day-to-day languages. We won't say, "Oh, हमने table की प्रतिष्ठा करी उधर बीच में." If you talk in Sanskrit, you might do that, but usually not. But what do we use the word Sanskrit for? What do you use the word pratishtha for? Come on, you're devotees. I was expecting a better answer.
Man samman, mataji.
I need gross. I want gross. Sthapana for 50 points to Sutapa Mataji. Yes. Pratishtha is sthapana of the deities in the temple. Yeah, so he's saying that if I fall, right, away from my progress in devotional service, then I am neither here, which is I'm neither with them in the group or in the gang of the materialists, nor do I belong to the path of the transcendentalist. I'm neither here, not in this group, not in that group. And which is, a person might have a doubt that, why did we do that? Okay? So it is a very natural thing to have a doubt. In our Bhagavad Gita class in the morning that we are doing, we see that there is Arjuna who's doubting. And he says, Nimittani cha pasyami vipuritani keshava. He's saying, I'm seeing horrible end results of this thing that is happening. Similarly, here in 6th chapter again, Arjuna is looking for the end result. And because when you are doing this dhyan yoga, they are supposed to be, giving na janam, na dhanam, na sundaram. On top of that, brahmacharya, you have to do all that. And so you give up all the so-called worldly pleasures to pursue the path of dhyan yoga, and then you fail. So now where am I supposed to go? I forego all the pleasure that I would have gotten here. And then I don't even get this transcendental pleasure that was sort of promised by this path, and I didn't reach there. So Arjuna is in that situation here in this verse. So let's go further and see what Prabhupada has to tell us here. Prabhupada says that there are two ways to progress. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Those who are materialists have no interest in transcendence. Therefore, they are more interested in material advancement by economic development or in promotion to the higher planets. Yeah, if you can mute yourself if you are in a noisy line, either on Zoom or on the conference call, then I'll retain my focus here. Or in promotion to the higher planets by appropriate work. So I'll repeat the sentence again. Those who are materialist have no interest in transcendence. Therefore, they are more interested in material advancement by economic development or in promotion to higher planets by appropriate work. And what is that appropriate work that we do? That appropriate work is when you are doing karma kandi activities. If the aspiring transcendentalist fails, then he apparently loses both ways. In other words, he can enjoy neither material happiness nor spiritual success. He has no position, no pratishtha like that. He is like a riven cloud. So now Prabhupada is explaining what is a riven cloud. A cloud in the sky sometimes deviates from a small cloud and joins a big one. But if it cannot join a big one, then it is blown away by the wind and becomes a non-entity in the vast sky. That's what happens to the cloud. The Brahmana Pathi, which is the path of transcendental realization through knowing oneself to be spiritual in essence, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Lord Shri Krishna is the fullest manifestation of the Supreme Absolute Truth, and therefore one who is surrendered to the Supreme Person is a successful transcendentalist. To reach this goal of life through Brahman and Paramatma realization takes many, many births. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Therefore, the supermost path of transcendental realization is Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness, which is the direct method. So you see how we are talking about Dhyan Yoga, but Prabhupada will always make sure that we don't get attracted to whatever are the end results of Dhyan Yoga, which is mystic powers. He's and again he's coming back and he's emphasizing that you should be doing Bhakti Yoga. That is the direct path. The absolute truth can be recognized in three phases: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. All that is fine. There are paths there. The Gyan Yoga will take you to Brahman. Dhyan Yoga will take you to Paramatma. And Bhakti Yoga is the only thing. It's a direct path, and that will take you to the Bhagwan, like that. Right? So let's just open up the lines here and ask for reflections on what you have heard. Anything, thoughts that come to your mind after hearing this narration. And if you are on mute, then please unmute yourself and speak. Any word?
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the purport, a cloud in the sky sometimes deviates from small cloud and joins a big one. But if it cannot join the big one, then it is blown away by the wind. So in our life also, Mataji, like if we are not in association, then we are blown away, like you see, like the cloud. Does it mean that?
Yes. Yes. Good.
So, Mataji, this ribbon cloud is little very risky. So, Father, he will be not enjoying material also and transcend activity also. So,
Yeah. That's the fear. Yeah. That's the fear that is there. So, right? Unless I see something more that is promised to me. Yeah. Sonal Mataji, are you trying to say something? Thank you very much.
No, I was.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to mute your line because I'm getting some noises from there. Okay, so what else? Anything else?
So, Hare Krishna.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
on the same analogy about the cloud, in the morning class we were talking about that when we are in dilemma, we should go use somebody else's intelligence when our intelligence fails and get anchors who keep us grounded. So it's the same example, like a small cloud has to be grounded with a bigger cloud in order to be not blown away by wind.
Yes, yes. And there is plenty of things that will blow away our devotional service, efforts of doing devotional service. Yes. You always go for the big cloud. You know, try to find shelter at the lotus feet of a big cloud like that. Yeah. Good observation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So we can see that, you know, doubts are arising in Arjuna's mind, right? And so when you are in doubt, especially when you doubt something like the scripture, then you are in serious trouble, right? So let's look at a verse from our scriptures which talk about that, and I'm going to post it here on your group, and if you can tell me. Tell me. If you're on mute, then please unmute yourself.
Yeah, we got it.
You got it? Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay.
4.
Okay, so here we go. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, and the verse number is 40. And the translation for that is Krishna telling Arjuna, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain to God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, out of the many standard and authoritative revealed scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita is the best. Persons who are almost like animals have no faith or knowledge of the standard revealed scriptures, and some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scriptures, have actually no faith in these words. And even though others may have faith in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, they do not believe in or worship the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Such persons cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down. Jutta. Out of all the above mentioned persons, those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. Men without faith in God and his revealed word find no good in this world nor in the next. For them, there is no happiness whatsoever. Can you mute yourself? One should therefore follow the principles of revealed scriptures with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge will help one become promoted to the transcendental platform of spiritual understanding. In other words, doubtful persons have no status whatsoever in spiritual emancipation. One should therefore follow in the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. So here you go. They are telling you here that what this verse is actually telling you about the big cloud. So what is the big cloud mentioned in this? In this verse, 440.
Actually, they could be sorry. It's the Gita, the scripture.
The scripture is a big cloud, yes. Are there any other big clouds mentioned here?
So your mentors,
Acharyas, very good. And I heard one more answer. What was that?
Mentors, advisors.
Mentors and advisors, very good. Mm-hmm.
And Krishna Mataji, faith in the scriptures and in the words of Acharyas.
Acharyas, okay, good, good. So you see, so this is the verse where Krishna is telling us and hinting us there, right? But we have to remember that doubting, right? So we have a gross body, we have the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, which gather information from the material world, and then we have these are the 10 indriyas, and then or the 5 senses of acquiring are nose, ear, tongue, so on and so forth, those 5. And then on the 6th is the mind, right? Manashasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. It says that in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So the mind is there. It's the 5th sense. And then we have intelligence in the subtle body. And of course, we have false ego in the subtle body. So this doubting, right? This doubting that is coming, the function of doubting. Who performs the function of doubting? The doubting is actually a very important function of our intelligence. So blindly accepting something is actually telling that we don't have any intelligence if you just blindly follow. So in the beginning, right? In the beginning, it is okay to be doubtful. It's okay to be doubtful, right? It's only, when you're progressing and when you become an advanced devotee, like for example, you have taken initiation, you have taken second initiation, and then after that, when wrong things happen to you in your life, you start doubting and you say, is there a God? How come this is happening to me, right? So doubting at that stage is not a good thing, right? So we have to cultivate our, we have to cultivate our intelligence like that by, taking shelter of a big cloud. So when you are in doubt, as you said, that you should talk to the seniors, you should talk to your seniors. Or now you will have different kinds of seniors. For example, if you come to me and you have a doubt about what you have read in science and what the Srimad Bhagavatam is telling you. For example, when you read the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, they will say that the sun goes around the earth. And you'll say, no, I read it the other way. Right? And there are so many other things that you will read there in the Bhagavatam, which are completely orthogonal to what you have been reading in your, material pursuits like that. So obviously a doubt is going to be raised in your head that, is this right or is that right? Is Bhagavatam really right? Or is it just a story, right? Is it just a mythology which is over there? So these kind of thoughts will rise in your head. Now, if you want to clear these doubts, then you have to go to the right person who can clear the doubt. So among the senior devotees also, there will be devotees who will be specializing. For example, we know Sadaputa Prabhu is the one, he wrote a book called Vedic Cosmology, where he is trying to explain Vedic cosmology in side by side with what we understand as cosmology from our other pursuits, right? So that is the place that you would go. Or people with that kind of a, expertise is where you will go. Second thing also is that you should also, the person might be knowledgeable in that area, but when you go to them with your doubts, they might give you an answer which might not satisfy you because of the level in devotional service where you are. For example, if somebody comes and says that I'm having trouble relating with my spouse, and so 100% sure shot guaranteed answer that will help you in handling your spouse is to chant Hare Krishna. But this answer might not appeal to everybody. They might not get it. They might not yet have faith in the power of the holy name. So they might just say, what is this? These Hare Krishnas? They just give one standard answer. If you don't know the answer to anything, just tell them, you chant Hare Krishna. I'm not satisfied. Now, one more doubt has arisen in your head about this person to whom you went, right? So you should also be going to people who are speaking in the same wavelength as we are, right? Maybe what I really was looking for was if somebody could tell me, you don't get along with your spouse or whatever, boss or colleagues or neighbors or whatever, then, These are the 6 things that you should do. And if they can make an acronym out of that, that's even better, right? If I'm that sort of a personality, then I should go to those kind of people. So choose your mentors and choose the people to whom you're going to get your answers, to be like-minded, like as you are. You should also avoid people who are going to discourage you, right? And people who can discourage you could be, for example, if you go there and say that, I'm trying to understand this thing from Srimad Bhagavatam because I'm going to take a class. And that person might just discourage you and say, you know what, it's full of all controversy, it's full of contradictions. In Canto 4, it says this, Canto 6, it just says that. Just give up teaching. Why get into that? So you had a doubt. Instead of the doubt being cleared, you got sidetracked further from your pursuit of wanting to preach the Srimad Bhagavatam, like that, right? So the amount of doubting that you will do, again, depends on individual to individual. Some individuals are high doubters. They doubt everything, everything. You tell them something and they'll say, is it true? Like that. It becomes a habit with them. Are you sure? Like that. Doubting Toms. So while you're reading these scriptures, also sometimes you might come across a place where you have a doubt. What does it say? What does it mean? Now, it's entirely up to you as to how you handle the doubt at that time. Are you going to handle the doubt in a way that the doubt corners you, stops your progress, and you're completely paralyzed because of the doubt? Or you can do what you do in your material life. In your material life, 10 days before the exam, when we opened the book for the first time, started reading it, many doubts will come. Do we stop at that doubt and say, okay, till I don't get this cleared, I'm not going to go to the next chapter? No. We just leave that, mark it, bookmark it, put a sticky label, whatever we do, and then we move on. So similarly, here also, if you start getting doubts on the scriptures or doubts on the procedures, etc., just move on, right? Don't do that if it involves doing something which will have effects on others and on you. Then stop that activity, but then pursue, the next one if it's not dependent on the first activity, like that. Right? So let not the doubts just corner you. The more you think about your doubts, the bigger they will become. Keep this in mind. It's like a rolling, it's like a snowball, they say, right? As the snowball moves, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I have got some doubts and I've been told, I should not make it increase. Instead, we should somehow try to increase our faith in whatever path that you have chosen, right? Like the path of devotional service. So how will I know what are the things that increase my doubts and what are the things that increase my faith? Okay? So you will know that, like, what activities am I doing? You will know that by the end result of that activity. If at the end of doing an activity, and that activity could be going and sitting down and listening to somebody for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, right? Whatever. So if at the end of that, if you are disheartened, right? If you are disheartened by that, then that particular activity, whatever you did, is something that is increasing your doubts. On the other hand, if you go and associate with somebody and you listen to that person, or you read a book or you read an article or you attend some class, etc., right? And that you're intellectually, you are convinced even more of what you were pursuing, then that is something that's going to increase your faith. And once your faith is increased, right? Now faith is Shraddha, right? Shrad means heart, and Dha means where you place it. So Shraddha means wherever you have placed your heart. And you will typically place your heart where you think that the result of this activity is going to give me a positive result. I have got faith, and therefore I should do this. So once you have that kind of a faith that by doing this activity, I'm going to get good results, as compared to the doubt that if I'm going to do this activity, am I going to get a good result or not? Maybe not, maybe yes, maybe no, like that, right? So when you are in a position that you know that pursuing this particular activity is actually going to give me good results, then your faith increases, and because of your faith, your enthusiasm also increases, right? Now, for those of you who have passed the Bhakti Shastri exam, what do we call enthusiasm in Sanskrit? And if you are on mute, then please unmute yourself. Utsahan for 75 points. Very good. And if you can support that, by which scripture we are talking about?
Nectar of instruction.
Nectar of instruction. Very good. Utsahan. Can you want to give us the words there?
I don't remember it.
Okay. Utsahan nischayat dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyago shate vrti shadvida bhakti prasidati. So these are 6, things that will enhance your devotional service, and one of them is utsahan, right? Utsahan, nischayat, dhairyat, right? And then following in the footsteps of the people. But utsahan is what I'm talking about. And if there is anything that will dampen your utsahan, is doubts. When you have doubts, why will you be excited about doing something? You won't be excited about doing it. So to be utsahan, you need to have faith. So when you have doubts, and this is a very good, very good thumb rule that you can take with you today. And that is that you should doubt, and especially in devotional service, now that you have taken to Krishna consciousness, and if at all a doubt comes to you about the Krishna consciousness activities, your pursue, your decisions, etc., doubt your doubts. Okay? Doubt your doubts and believe your beliefs. So if you've had a belief that, by doing Krishna consciousness and chanting and, following 4 regulative principles, I will be progressing in devotional service and I will go back to Godhead, that is your belief. Then believe in your belief. And then if at all there's a doubt that comes, like, if what is this Hare Krishna chanting? Just you sit down like a parrot and you recite something that I don't even know the meaning of, that's a doubt. Don't get blown away like a riven cloud by these doubts. Instead, use your intelligence and doubt the doubt itself. Is it true? And then you will know the answer if you go and approach your mentors, your spiritual masters, your teachers, the scriptures, sadhus, so on and so forth. Right? And then don't get bogged down by the doubts, and don't make them very, very big by thinking more about it. They'll become big. And if you're thinking about that, the doubt more and more and more and more again and again, your consciousness will, be of a different kind. And the size, and of course, this is a problem that is there in front of you. So the size of the problem that you're facing depends on your consciousness. And we see that. We see that Arjuna in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita is in a material consciousness, and he's completely overwhelmed with the problem that he sees, and that is, how do I kill my teachers? Like that. So then let's go back into our words, and I want to point out something in our words. And how does he address Krishna in this verse? Mahabaho, right? But isn't Mahabaho something that we remember that Krishna addresses Arjuna as Mahabaho?
Yeah.
Right? Krishna is, now here Arjuna is called Mahabaho, right? One who has got strong arms or mighty arm, like that, right? mighty arms. But here what is happening is that he is Krishna is he's addressing Krishna. He's addressing Krishna as Krishna as Mahabaho. So you see, so this term Mahabaho is a generic term. It's a generic term in the sense that it is not something like Devaki Nandan, you know, or Vasudev Nandan. Not like that. This is a generic term, and on this generic term can be addressed to anybody who has got a Mahabahu, right? Anybody who's mighty armed can be addressed by that generic term. It doesn't make him divinity like that. So Krishna addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, and then here Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahabahu, right? You are the mighty one, like that. So just, but Devaki Nandan term will be used only for Krishna. It won't be used for Arjuna, right? I mean, Devaki might like Arjuna to a certain extent, but not, you know, he's not the Nandan. Devaki Nandan is only one, and that is Krishna over there, right? So I'd like to welcome Rahul Shah Prabhu and Meera Mishra Mataji. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you in the class here.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So, Varshana, are you trying to say something? Okay, but why didn't you unmute yourself?
Now I could do it. Yes.
Yeah. After you unmute yourself and then you speak, then if you can please mute yourself so that we don't have any noise, because every time you move even a little bit, Zoom is very, very sensitive. It catches that sound and then it records it. So, and then the recording becomes difficult. There are quite a few people who are not able to come to this class because they are doing work in their office still, and they like to listen to the recording later on. So that's why I'm a little bit, you know, and apart from that fact that it also disturbs my thought process there. Okay, but you were saying something. Go ahead. Arshana Mataji.
I was just saying that please unmute me. That's what I was saying.
Okay. So stay muted. If you don't have anything to say, stay muted, because then otherwise it picks up the noise from the environment. Okay. Right. So I was just pointing out that, you know, there's Mahabahu. So Mahabahu, you know, of course, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, so he needs the Mahabahu. But here he's addressing Krishna, because again, he's just pointing out various things there. Right. So then he's saying his doubt was that of the riven cloud. Arjun's doubt was of the riven cloud, and he's addressing Krishna as Mahabahu. He's powerful. He might be able to do something for me. So Arjuna here is saying that maybe it's not a good idea at all, because if we fail in devotional service, then what about all these cool things that we gave up, right, in our devotional service now here? And so we have to first understand what are the needs. So what do you think are the needs of a human being? You can unmute yourself and answer that question, please. What is the need of a human being? And you can give me all kinds of needs. Yeah, the need not
connection. Human connection.
You need connection. Okay.
Eating.
You need shelter. You need clothing. Okay.
Need shelter, clothing, eating, food, everything that we need.
Okay. And then from the conference call, what else?
All material comforts.
You need material comforts. Okay. So you said at the basic, I heard you all say that you need food, right? There's food you need, and then somebody said you need shelter. So there are certain things that your body requires, and the body requires these, and the body has also got, and this is Brahma's engineering, that the body has been designed in such a nice way that, for example, if you are very engrossed in something and you forget to eat, then what happens is that hunger will strike you, right? And because of the hunger striking you, you will remember that you need to eat food. Because if we just forget to eat food and we don't eat food, then we can't survive forever, right? Survive for long by doing this kind of practice. We need food. So there's a mechanism there to satisfy your needs of the body. Then you said, if I can stay underneath a tree and I can eat the apples that fall from the tree, so my basic need is satisfied. So no, on top of that, you said you also need some kind of a shelter, right? Because you have got some safety needs as well. Because if I'm sleeping underneath a tree, some, tiger might come and eat me up like that. And then we heard, and actually this had come as a first response from Meera, who said that we want companionship, right? So there is a need for people to belong, right? So we need to belong. And then we have got esteem, self-esteem. I am this, I am that, and we had talked about in the beginning, you had also mentioned pratishtha, right? So Varshana Mataji, your pratishtha is coming now here, right? In the need. So you were talking about the subtle. So there is some esteem. I am something, That's why we talk about low esteem people, high esteem people, and things like that. We need some recognition from others. So you see, now we are slowly from the grass, which is I need my 3 chapatis, my aloo bhurji, and my dal and my dahi, 3 times a day or whatever, right? Like that. To I need kapda and I need makan, right? Then I need a spouse. I need somebody to help me. I need to have esteem. I need to have from recognition. We are moving into the subtle, right? Esteem and recognition. We're going into the subtle area there, right? Then there are atheistic needs which are there. I want to live in a room. Okay, I'm going to give you a table and a chair, a table to work on. That's fine. But then that is not sufficient. That's too bland. So you want it to beautify it. You want a nice table cover on it. You don't want a white wall. You want some color on the wall and things like that. And then as you go higher up, right, on the subtle things, then you ultimately, have to realize yourself. And then you go into transcendence, which is, try to find God, try to find your relationship with Him, and find out the process by which you are going to find it. So these needs kind of, can be stacked one on top of each other to form a structure. And that structure actually looks like a triangle. And a triangle means the base is big. And as you move up to the top, it becomes smaller and smaller, right? If I make this into chunks, it'll become smaller and smaller and smaller. And that is what the fact is in real life over here, that a large number of people will be there pursuing the lower or the beginning needs that I have talked about. And as you go higher and higher towards the subtle, fewer and fewer people will be aiming towards those needs. And what I mean by that is that everybody wants and needs food. Now, some can just live on food. They don't care about the safety. But then still some do care about the safety, but they'll be slightly less than the people who just barely need, who basically just need the food like that, right? And then once they are safe, the number of people who want to belong, who want to have companionship is lesser than, those who just want the safety like that. And so obviously, as you go up, the people who try to go for and look for transcendence are the least in number. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Like that. Okay. So we have needs. Some people who are sleeping don't know that there are higher level needs that should also be fulfilled. And the ultimate need is transcendence and to get the love of God, right? Belonging and love needs were there in the lower hierarchy, but there is a higher level of love as well. And that is the love of God is what Prema Pumarto Mahan is what we should be pursuing all the time, right? So then what happens is that we are trying to go for transcendence. And, the number of people over there are very few. And as we go towards that place, as we are walking the path of transcendence, we should be aware of the challenges that you are going to face, right? What is it that what makes me become a riven cloud? What is it? Why would anybody want to, break off from a smaller and just perish like that? Chinna means, just torn apart like that. So you just get torn apart and you lose identity. Why would I do that? What are the challenges that I face, right?
And
And the thing,
Mataji, sometimes in life, many difficulties come, and which torn us apart, and then our faith shatters, and that becomes difficult. But we have to be in the association of such friends and such people, those who help us not to fall down.
yeah, yeah. So, when you are in a position where your faith is challenging you, your faith is dwindling, then you seek association. Now, again, sometimes we know intellectually, we can understand intellectually that this is what I want to do, and which is that, of course, I know there are some basic needs. There is, I need the food, but then I also know that my highest need is transcendence. I need to find God. So, in some cases, in order to find a higher need, you'll be willing to give up some of your lower needs. For example, tomorrow is Narsingham Dev's appearance day. So all of us will be giving up food for some time so that we can have control over our senses, like that, right? So we could intellectually know that that's what we're supposed to do, and we are not able to do that. And Arjun asked that, in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun asked, and we did that earlier with you all, that he says that, I know that in order for me to pursue devotional service, I should do this, I should not do that. I should not do any sinful activities. It's there in the scriptures, I read it. But then, there is some sort of a natural thing that is coming inside me. It's almost like somebody's forcing me to do it. I don't want to do it, right? But I'm kind of impelled. So impel is like, somebody gives you a big, nice push. So it's an impel. You're impelled by that. So he asked Krishna in the 3rd chapter. And Krishna had said, why? What makes you do that? It is lust only. He says lust only. And why will the lust be there? Why? How is the lust born? Why do I become lusty? It is because I will use my indriyas. I will be in the mode of passion. Lust represents passion, and represent desire. I will use my indriyas to get connected with the material world. And by contact with all these nice things that Maya is going to present to me, a desire will be, strengthened for me to first to enjoy the matter, and the next is to possess the matter. And if it doesn't happen, if my lust is not satisfied, then what happens? Anger arises, because anger is the younger brother of lust, kama and krodha, right? So we have to remember, and Krishna told him there that, in this material world, there will be living entities will be covered with lust. After all, that's why we are here. Right? And he gives an example that, whenever there's fire gets covered by the smoke. If there is an embryo, he gets covered by the womb, like that. So similarly, this living entity, the soul who is here, will be covered by different degrees of lust. They will be there, right? So, although I am a pure soul, although I'm a living entity, although I'm a soul, as a soul, I'm already a devotee of the Lord, right? But this lust actually covers me completely. And it burns like an unending fire. The desire. I mean, lust is desire, right? And our senses are there. Right? You one day you have your breakfast, then you have lunch, then you have dinner. The second day, your senses don't tell you that, well, we had breakfast yesterday, so let's not have breakfast today. No, they want bigger and a better breakfast, like that. So senses are like that. So our senses, which gather information, our mind, which produces thoughts on that, and then our intelligence that is going to make the decision. These are the sitting places of the lust. And when we are having lusty desires to, enjoy something, then shastric injunctions, etc., which are saying, give this up, give that up, is going to give rise to doubts. Because the mind, and together with the intelligence are going to produce such thoughts, saying like, Do you really think it helps? Do you really think I should give up the food? Right? Or my allopathic doctor tells me, no, doesn't matter. You can eat whatever you want to eat. Just take this pill, like that. So those kind of doubts are going to come, and that is because we have an inherent desire to enjoy. And anybody and anything that is telling me not to do that is going to produce doubts in my mind in the beginning. In the beginning, when my faith is like a banana tree. A banana tree can be swayed and moved in any direction, right? Very easily. It's very, very soft. But then through progress in devotional service, it will become stronger and stronger and stronger. And to make it stronger and stronger and stronger, you will, till it becomes a banyan tree that nobody can uproot. You'll have to constantly, water your devotional service. The creeper of your devotional service has to be watered by constant chanting, hearing, devotional activity. There are 64 items of devotional service, out of which 5 are most potent. So we say, okay, you should chant, you should read Bhagavatam, you should, serve the devotees, you should worship the deity, and you should live in a place of pilgrimage, like that. So you have to constantly do that. And when we constantly do that, then our strength will become stronger. Our faith will become stronger. And then the doubts will very gradually kind of go away. So that's the way. But Arjuna at this point is asking this question. It's not that he doesn't know that. Arjuna is asking this question to to Krishna. And why is he asking this question to Krishna? Because he's talking about, like, what if I do this, then what is going to be the end result? So he's kind of like, asking about the future. If somebody is a transcendentalist and he, gets like a riven cloud, then what happens to him? He's asking. And the reason he's reaching out to Krishna is because Krishna is Trikal Darshi. He knows the past, the present, and the future. So Krishna can predict and tell Arjuna like that. And he will tell that. He will tell that in the verses that are going to follow in this chapter number 4, in this chapter number 6, like that, right? But this one basically is his doubt, like that. So I'll stop here. It's about 2 minutes to 7 o'clock, and I'll take maybe a couple of reflections here in the interest of time. So you can unmute your lines and you can ask the question. Anything that you heard, anything that you want to share?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah,
Hare
so
Krishna. Yeah, Sutapa is talking. Yeah. Go ahead, Sutapa.
Yes. Mataji, you mentioned that no doubt is in our mind. So the figure will be, means I couldn't finish the line, and so I missed that area. So can you please just repeat one more time? Because I liked that thing a lot.
So I was saying that your devotional service is like a creeper, right? And the devotional service has to be constantly watered. The creeper of your devotional service has to be constantly watered by practicing devotional service. And there are many items of devotional service. There are 64 that are listed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and out of those 5 are very potent, and they are chanting, they are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, they are serving the devotees or association of devotees, the deity worship, and living in the pace of pilgrimage. So when you are constantly watering your devotional service with these things, then your creeper is a very soft thing, right? I said, right? That creeper on your faith will become very, very strong. And the creeper will also grow. And as the creeper grows, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that the creeper will grow and reach all the way up to Golok Vrindavan and rest at the lotus feet of Krishna. And when it rests at the lotus feet of Krishna, then we don't stop. My devotional service has made me I've reached that destination, but I'm still in this material body, right? So I will continue to water. I will continue to do Shravan, Kirtanam, all those things I'll continue to do until I finally leave my body and I go away. So, iha yasya harer dase karmana manasagira niklav apyavastatum jivan mukta saruchate. So if you continue to practice devotional service, then you actually become liberated in this material world itself. Jivan mukta. Then you're not influenced by the modes of material nature like that.
Yes.
Okay. Varshana Mataji, you were saying something?
Yeah, Mataji, I was saying the same thing which she has asked, that we have to keep on watering our devotional service by listening and by practicing, doing kirtan, deity worship, so that our faith becomes um, strong. And another thing, that we always have to be careful to be in the association of the devotees, so that our faith doesn't deviate here and there.
Okay.
This is
Good.
what I was.
Good. Very good. Okay. So I've got two messages. One is from Rahul Shah. He says, my mic is not working, but I'm listening intensely. Thank you so much, Rahul. Yeah. And if you can type us and tell us, how you came to the Zoom call, that will be interesting. And then Amira Mishra Mataji is saying that what are some examples of austerity in Kali Yuga? So obviously in the Sat Yuga and the other yugas, we hear about austerity where people are doing, they go under the water, and then they are doing, standing on one leg under the water also. And they are doing, tapa like that, austerities there, meditating on the Lord. Like Shabri Muni was doing that. And then, of course, we have our own Ravana, who was performing a lot of austerities, right? He would even cut off his head and put it when he was worshipping Brahma, like that. So those are the kinds of austerities for a different yuga. So what do you think are the austerities that we do here during Kali Yuga?
Chanting attentively.
Now, the chanting of the holy name.
Okay, one at a time, and give me only one. So that will give a chance to everybody to speak. Okay, so Vashana Mataji said chanting. Anything from the audio conference?
Your devotional service, just performing your devotional service is austerity.
Doing your devotional service and austerity. Okay. What about the 4 regulative principles? Is that an austerity or not?
Yeah, following the, yes, Mataji,
Right? That's
following the 4
austerity.
relative
Yeah.
principles.
And
Yeah,
then,
because the desire was there. So if we live all those things, so that we are doing the austerity.
yeah, it's an austerity, right? And then also, when you go out and do book distribution, you walk door to door, you're walking miles all together on a hot day carrying books, or you're distributing books like Vashana Mataji does. She carries heavy books on a train when she's traveling for the yatra, and on the train she distributes like tens of Bhagavad Gita. So it's heavy stuff, right? So that's an austerity, right? So there are many, many types of austerities. Even reading the scriptures is an austerity, isn't it? As soon as we pick up the scripture, we fall asleep, want to go to sleep. So that also is an austerity. Trying to speak the truth is an austerity. So there are austerities of the body. Like for me, I might just want to, just sit in this chair the whole day and then either give lectures or read something or do some work. Once in a while go cook and things like that. But the austerity could be that I have to keep my body fit because I want to stay in a fit body to be able to do devotional service. So you have to go out for a walk. That could become an austerity for me to do. When it is very, very hot and you still go to the kitchen to cook food for the deities, that is an austerity. Similarly, we are talking about dilemma in our morning Bhagavad Gita classes, which we have at 6:30 in the morning, our time. And so in those, if you're talking about Arjuna is facing a dilemma, so sometimes we have a dilemma between good, bad and bad, which is easy to follow, but not all that easy. At least the decision making is there that I should do it or I should not do it, that kind of stuff. But again, when it comes to even for a good thing, even try to do a good thing. This mind is so bad that it can, like I said, don't focus on your doubts. Don't focus on your doubts too much, otherwise it'll become too big, right? So the mind will come and tell you that, should I take a shower or should I not take a shower? How difficult is that, right? But it'll tell you, should I take a shower now? Or should I just wait and let this, television news that I'm watching, let it be finished, and then I will go and watch, and then I go and take a shower. Or There's no electricity, so there is no hot water. Should I take a shower or not take a shower? Now, somebody who are austere, they might say, no, before I chant, I have to take a shower. I need to do my Gayatri. I need to take a shower. I want to cook for the deities. I have to take a shower. I don't care whether it is cold water or hot water. I'm going to take a shower. You close your nose, you stand underneath the water, and you're done. That's an austerity. So then again, austerity, there's austerity of the body. I talked about there's austerity of speech. And then there is austerity of the mind. So austerity of speech. What is austerity of speech? Austerity of speech is to speak things that will not agitate and threaten other people. Our voice, as Vaisheshika Prabhu says, from our mouth, we should get mukhe prasadat. When we open our mouths, only sweet things should come out of our mouths. Like that. So austerity of speech. Then austerity of mind. What do you think is austerity of the mind?
Thinking about good things or Krishna all the time, no bad things.
Thinking about Krishna all the time is the biggest austerity. Yeah. And we have Divyangi Mataji there. She says that, yeah, she's not talking about austerities, but she does a lot of it, I know, being based in New York and distributing books there in the subways. She says she likes the point about doubt your doubts and believe in your beliefs. Yeah, yeah. That's a very good point. I also heard that. And yeah, Utsahan, yes, nectar of instruction, verse number 3, like that. So, yeah. What else are the austerities? What else? What other austerities that do you perform? Fasting, like tomorrow, fasting will be an austerity.
Fasting for Ekadashi is also an austerity.
Is an austerity, yeah. And then, go ahead.
Waking up early in the morning.
Okay, so Varshana Mataji says Ekadasi fasting is difficult, and Priyanka Mataji says that waking up early in the morning is an austerity. Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. And Vidya Vadhu sharing her comments that when in doubt, consult the scripture and the acharyas. Yeah, mentors. Yeah.
And Mataji, we have to make a fixed program for ourselves that we have to read these many pages of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, and we have to do it every day. That is also an austerity.
Yeah, well, it will be. Oh, I got a call here. Hold on.
This service is provided in high definition by free conference call
Somebody's trying to reach me. Yeah.
There are 8 participants in the conference.
The austerity of the mind, speech, and
Mind, body, and speech. Mana, vacha, gira.
Mind, body, and speech.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that austerity is there. And then we have Amira is saying that waking up early is an austerity. Yes, that's a famous. it's trending. Huh? Waking up early is trending on the austerities. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so the funny thing is that as your devotion, as your creeper of the devotional service progresses, right, and becomes bigger and bigger and starts moving towards Golok Vrindavan, then these things stop becoming an austerity for you. Instead of becoming an austerity, it is actually a joy. It becomes a joy. Like Varshana Mataji was up until well past midnight, India time. And I told her not to come to this class. But here she is. Why? Because the taste has developed. So then waking up will not be an austerity for her, because as soon as the alarm is going off, yes, at that time we'll be sleeping. At that time, the mind will tell you that, let's just, switch the alarm or change the alarm to a little bit more. And then let's just, sleep a little bit more, put it on snooze. Let me just snuggle a little bit more, close my eyes at least a little bit more. All those kinds of thoughts the mind is going to tell you there, right? But the intelligence is higher than the mind. And the intelligence will say, no, I have to get up, isn't it? I have to get up because there's more fun there. I have to go into the class. I have to listen to the scriptures. I have to ask that question, like that. And so slowly, these austerities that we perform actually, become our friends. And it is, and why we have to perform these austerities is to control our mind. Why are we fasting tomorrow? Does Krishna become very happy to see his kids hungry? No, we are doing it for ourselves. That's why sometimes on Ekadashi Day, people come and ask me, can I make Ekadashi food and offer it to Krishna? And I'm like, yes. Krishna doesn't observe Ekadashi. He doesn't need Ekadashi. We are the ones who need Ekadashi because of our mind. Because of our mind. And this mind has to be controlled. And that is why we do these 4 regulative principles. And it's there's a very interesting analogy that people draw and give for a mind. They say that you are a soul, right? And man, like I said in the morning or yesterday, I said, Markatasya shurapanam tasya vrichudanchanam tam madhye bhutam sancharam yadyatadya bhavichati. So the mind is like a monkey, very much agitated, very, very jumpy and things like that. And then the mind, if you take that monkey and give some alcohol to the monkey, how much more it will be boisterous, right? And on top of that, if a scorpion comes and bites it, it'll jump even higher. Right? And then if a ghost comes and starts to reside in the monkey, you can imagine how much havoc is going to happen. That is the condition of an uncontrolled mind. The mind has to be brittle, right? And the mind has to be brittled with the help of intelligence. The mind has to be brittled and constantly. So they say, they give a very nice analogy. They say that in order to prevent the mind from running away here and there, that's what the mind does. Runs to one place, from there jumps to another place, jumps to another place, jumps to another place. So in order to control the mind, you have to cage it, encage it, right? So mind is like an animal, and our soul is like a hunter. So if a hunter goes to the forest and brings a parrot at home, you can't let the parrot just stay like that. You have to put the parrot inside a cage. Otherwise, the parrot will fly away. So similarly here also, we have to do certain things to keep the parrot of our mind inside a cage. And that is why we start doing all these austerities. The mind will say, I want to eat burger in the morning. And it will say, no, it is Narsingadev Chaturdashi. I'm fasting, like that. Constant control, constant control. And when you do this constant control, you will notice that even it happens in our material life, that if you take the pigeons, right, when you domesticate the pigeons, the doves, right, you don't put them you initially you might just tie them up a little like that, and then they eat the food there. And then even if you let them loose, or a parrot, sometimes parrots, if they are staying in your cage and then you open the door of the cage, it won't even get out. It'll just stay inside the cage. And if you shoo it, then it'll go out of the cage. And after some time, you'll see it has again come back and it's sitting inside the cage. So the same analogy is drawn for the mind also, that by engaging this mind, putting it inside a cage, not allowing it to go here and there, and touch all these material activities like that, the mind gets conditioned. So that even when you open up, even if you open up the gates and say, go out, it will not go out. And that is why we do these austerities. So it's not that we do an austerity to a certain level. If I'm saying that, don't drink alcohol, that it means that, once I get control of the alcohol, it's like, oh, I have control alcohol, now I can take alcohol. No, when you reach that particular stage in austerity, then after a certain point in time, even if somebody gives me a bottle, I won't be tempted by that, right? Or meat, I won't be tempted by that, or an opportunity to gamble, I won't be tempted to do that. So these are regulative principles that we follow, which are very austere. They actually become your regulative principle of freedom, because I've controlled myself so much that tomorrow, if somebody shows me any of these temptations, I'm free. I don't get lured away by those temptations like that. So austerities are still there in Kali Yuga, Meera. And they are not easy either, because the consciousness is different, the environment is different, the temptations are more in Kali Yuga.
The austerity of practicing austerities becomes a habit, and it becomes a part of your life.
Yes.
And you don't even know that it is an austerity.
Yes.
Because so accustomed, body is so accustomed to it.
Yes. Yes. For example, once you learn that, when you're trying to learn how to bicycle, you fall down, you're conscious, you're looking at this, I'm paddling, I'm now, climbing the bicycle, now I'm getting off the bicycle, you are aware of all those. After some time, you don't even know that you were paddling like that. So, dear devotees, I'm sorry to cut it short like that, but I have another meeting to go to, and I'm already late by a minute for that. So if there are more questions that are there, just feel free to post them on the Facebook where we are recording this, or you send them to me on the WhatsApp group if you are there, or send it to me on WhatsApp. I will try to address them either on that media, or I might address that in a class tomorrow. Tomorrow is Narsingham Chaturdashi, and we'll be meeting again at 6:30. So thank you so much, Rahul and Meera, for joining us over here. And yes, Rahul, I saw that Meera has introduced you here. So very good, Meera, for introducing Rahul to this class. And if you are up for it, then you can join it again in your evening, 7 o'clock. And thank you so much for those of you who are joining us on Facebook here. I know Divyangi is there, so is Deepti Mataji there. And of course, our regulars who are there on on our conference call.
Thank you,
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you. We'll meet again, okay? From then till now, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyevcha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay.